we are going to be using the Premier Yarns Sweet Roll Cake. You're going to need about 300 grams of this yarn. I am using a size 5.75 millimeter crochet hook or size J or J crochet hook. You're going to need a darning needle and a pair of scissors. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin. We're going to grab our end. You're going to pull your end from the center of your cakes. You're going to find the loose end. Okay. So for this, we're going to start by making our slip knot. Insert your crochet hook and pull tight. So now we're going to chain 6, so yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the 4th chain from the hook, we're going to make a double crochet. So go ahead and count 4, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to repeat that into the last 2. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, pull up a loop, you got 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. One more time. And there we have the start of our block. So now what we're going to do is we are going to chain 6 to start the next row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just like what we did to our first block, we're going to make 1 double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert a hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And go ahead and do it in that last chain. Same exact thing. Alright, so that is this first block of our second row. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our first block that we did and we are just going to flip it up. And in this chain 3 space right here, we are going to slip stitch to join. And now we are going to chain 3, so 1, 2, 3. And in that same space that we slip stitched into, we are going to create 3 more double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, insert a hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's 1, 2, and 3. Oops. Okay. Now we are going to chain 6 to start the next row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are going to make 1 double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. One double crochet, and into the next 2 we're going to make 1 double crochet into each of those chains. Okay, so once you do that, then you're going to take your work that you started and you are going to flip it upwards, slip stitch to join in that chain 3 space. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to make 3 double crochets into that space that you just did your slip stitch into. So 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch to join that chain 3 space, chain 3, and make 3 more double crochets right into that space right there. So it's 1, 2, 3. And that is what your work start to look like. As you can see, we've done 1, 2, 3 rows by 3 rows, or you can count the peaks, 1, 2, 3. That tells you how many rows you have done so far. So all you're going to do is just continue to repeat this pattern until you have the desired height that you want. And once you get there, you can start your decreases. So for me, I'm just going to continue to work this until I feel like it is good so far, and then I will come back to you and I will show you how to start decreasing. Okay, so we are making it to the end of this row. So to continue, we are just going to slip stitch to join to this block, chain 3, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to make our 3 double crochets into this chain 3 space. So it's 1, 2, 3. And into our last block right here, we're going to slip stitch to join, chain 3, 3 double crochets into that chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so this is what, this is what, this is what my blanket is starting to look like. This is the side. This is where we started, right here. And we worked our way all the way up. So, this side right here, this bottom edge, if you count each block, you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, all the way to number 30. And same with this side here. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, all the way up. We ended with number 30. So what we're going to do now is So what we're going to do now is I'm reached the desired width that I wanted for my blanket, and we're going to start decreasing on this side. So we're going to take a stitch marker. I'm going to take one from my pack. take this bright red and I am going to insert it around this double crochet right here. This is to let me know that this is the side that we are going to decrease on. So since I want this to be a rectangle, not a square, we are just going to decrease on one side of our blanket. So to decrease, we are going to chain 1 and we are going to flip our work. Now what we're going to do is we are going to slip stitch into the tops of those double crochets from that previous block. So we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, and try not to make these too tight. You want them kind of loose fitted, loose feeling. And into that chain 3 space, we're going to slip stitch like we normally would and chain 3. And we are going to start our next block. Grab some more yarn. And now we are going to make our 3 double crochets into this chain 3 space. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, that's 2 and 3. And as you can tell, we did not add an extra block to this row. The slip stitches count as that block. But now we're going to start to square off our blanket at this corner. So next, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, chain 3, 2, 3, and we're going to make 3 more double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright, so go ahead and make 2 more. Alright, and that is our what our blanket is starting to do. Alright, so next we're going to slip stitch to join, chain 3, 3, and 3 more double crochets. So you're going to go ahead and continue to do what you've been doing all the way down to the other corner, and I will meet you when we get there. Okay, so now we are at the end of this round or row. We're just going to go ahead and finish it up. So we are going to slip stitch to join, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to make our 3 double crochets right into that chain 3 space. Okay, and now we are going to make our slip stitch into this last chain 3 space. Let's go ahead and slip stitch. And we need to add 1 more block to sit right on top of this. So we're going to chain 3, so 1, 2, 3. Going to make our 3 double crochets. So that is number 1, 2, 3. I am sorry for the church bells, guys. It's early here. Alright, so as you can see from our previous row that we did, our block is going this way. It's going this way. And the block that we just finished is going upwards. So each block is going to alternate which way they are going, as you can see. So since we're not decreasing on this side, we're decreasing on this side of our blanket, we are going to start this next row the way we normally would start a row, by chaining 6. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to make our double crochet into the 4th chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to repeat that into the last 2 chains. So go ahead and do that. Now we are going to flip our work, and we are going to slip stitch to that chain 3 space of the previous block. Chain 3 and 3 double crochets into that same space. So 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. And we're going to continue to do that all the way until we get to the end of this row. So go ahead and continue to do that, and I will meet you guys when we get back to that. Meet you when we get back to the top of this row, end of this row. Okay, so we have made it back towards the end of this row. We're going to finish it up by slip stitching to join. And we're going to make our last block. So we're going to chain 3, 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3. And we are going to slip stitch to join. Alright, what you can do now from here, so you know what side you're going to start decreasing, you can move your stitch marker closer. So what I will do is I will move it to this chain 3, right there, so that way I know. So again, to start our decrease row, we're going to chain 1, and we are going to turn our work. And again, we're going to slip stitch into the tops of those double crochets from that block that we just finished. So go ahead and do that. Insert your hook, make a slip stitch into the next one, and into that third one, slip stitch, and then into that chain 3 space, slip stitch again, chain 3, and you can begin your 3 double crochets into that chain 3 space. So go ahead and do that. 1, 2, and 3. Going to slip stitch to join, chain 3, and continue to do this all the way down to the end. And when you get down to this corner, You're going to slip stitch to join. And then you're going to start your next new row with a chain 6, turn your work, double crochet into the 4th chain, double crochet in the last 2, and continue to make your blocks all the way back up. And when you get back up to the top, again you're going to start the same way that you have the last 2. So you're going to slip stitch into the top of those double crochets, into that chain 3, and then start your blocks all the way down. So go ahead and do that until you get to the almost to the. Alright, so go ahead and do that all the way until your blanket gets as long as you want it, and I will meet you when I am at the end of my blanket. Alright, so I forgot to mention, when you're doing your decreases, you're still going to have the same amount of stitches or blocks in each row you go down, make. These, your slip stitches that you made right here, they don't take away a box and they don't add a box, so you're still going to have 30. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So as for me, I will still have the 30. And I will show you my blanket so far. That is what it is looking like so far. So as you continue to decrease, this side right here, it's going to start to square off. And it's going to go until you get all the way down. So go ahead and continue to work your rows. Remember, when you get to this side that does not have your stitch marker, you're going to start a new block by chaining 6 and making your block. And when you get down to this side, when you're done with your last block right here, you're going to slip stitch to the top of those double crochets into that chain 3 space and continue going back and forth until you get to the end of your blanket. And I will meet you when I get close to the end of mine to show you how to end your blankets. Okay, so I have decided that my blanket is as long as I would like it. From the side, or the length of my blanket starts from right here, the corner. This is where we started our blanket at. And it goes all the way up this edge, right up here. And it is 35 rows that I have done. And if you remember, this side where we started squaring off at, we stopped right here at row 30. So now what we're going to do is we are going to start making our blanket have that rectangle shape. So to do that, we are going to start decreasing on both sides of our blanket. We're not going to just do it on this one side anymore. We're going to start decreasing on this side as well. So to do that, we are just going to chain 1, turn our work, and we are just going to slip stitch. Oops. We are going to slip stitch in those 3 double crochets from our previous block. So go ahead and do that. 1, 2, and 3, and slip stitch into that chain 3 space right there. And we are just going to start our block like we normally would, so by chaining 3, and we're going to make 3 double crochets into that space right there. That's 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch to join to the next block, chain 3, and 3 double crochets. Okay. And as you can see, this side is starting to get its point, its shape. So we are just going to continue to do that all the way down to the other end, and I will meet you when we get there. Okay, so we are at our last block that we're going to make for this row. So we're going to chain 3 and make our 3 double crochets into that chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to slip stitch to join. And since we're just going to be decreasing on both sides now, we can get rid of our little stitch marker, because we won't need it anymore to tell us which side only to decrease on. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. Now we're going to slip stitch again into the tops of our double crochets. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in that chain 3 space, and begin our block like we normally would. So 1 double crochet, 2, and 3 double crochets, slip stitch to join, just like that. Now remember, you don't need to end on your 35th row like I did. You can make your blanket as long or short as you need to. Just remember, if you're making your blanket into a rectangle shape, you are going to want to end on an odd number row, because if you end on an even number row, it will turn into a square blanket, square pillow, whatever you are making. So, but for this project, for this blanket, now that we are decreasing on both sides, you can go ahead and finish doing that. And when I get to the end of my blanket, I will show you how we are going to end it. So go ahead and finish that up, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so we have made it down to the end of our blanket, and we have 2 peaks left, which means we have 1 block left to make. So I just did my chain 1. Now we're going to flip our work one last time, and we are going to slip stitch into the tops of those 3 double crochets that we did. So that's 1, 2, and that's 3. 1 more into that chain 3 space. Now we are going to chain 3 and make our 3 double crochets into that block. Or 3 double crochets into that chain space, I'm sorry. And slip stitch to join. And that is the end how you finish off your blanket. So now we are going to fasten off, so we're going to chain 1, cut our yarn, pull through, and there we go. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take our darning needle, we're going to thread a yarn and just weave in our edges, or weave in our ends. So you can do this any way that works for you to hide this. I'm just gonna go in here, just go in and out. Just gonna go back and forth. Until I'm sure that it's nice and secure and it won't come out. Okay, it's nice and secure. Take our scissors and cut. And we're gonna find where we began our blanket to the other end, and we're gonna fasten this end in too. So go ahead and do that. All right, and there we have it. That is our blanket. Let me zoom out a little bit here. So, this is where we began, and we worked this way all the way down until we reached this end. Alright, so that is our blanket. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and we will see you guys next time.